Hi everyone and welcome back to Googie's Kitchen. My name's Alexis and today I wanted to show you how to make my dad's roast pork with proper crackling from my new book, Gifts from Grandpa. Today I want to show you how to make my roast pork with proper crackling, but before I do, if you are new to my channel, then hello and welcome. It's lovely to have you here, and if you love cooking videos and you want to see more, then I upload every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m, so please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. As I just mentioned, today I want to show you how to make my roast pork with proper crackling, and this recipe is in my new cookbook, Gifts from Grandpa, which is available to buy on Amazon, and I will link this in the description box below for you. My dad, I think, was an amazing cook, so I wanted to write down lots of his recipes and put them in this book. So in this book is a lot of my dad's recipes, some of my own, a couple of my nan's and one of my grandfather's as well. My dad also believed that everybody should have a home and everybody should have a place to go to. So £1 from the sale of each book will go to the homeless charity Crisis. Now, onto my roast pork. My roast pork recipe was a bit of a work in progress for a while. I once invited my dad over for dinner, which can be a huge mistake because he loves roast pork and he knew how to cook it properly. And instead of asking him, I went ahead and I cooked this roast pork. But the thing he loved most about roast pork was the crackling, and I burnt the crackling. I said it was caramelised, but he believed it was burnt. So we had a little dispute, but we got over it. So yes, he loved roast pork and he was the king of roast dinners as well. He was brilliant at cooking pork too. So the next time I cooked a roast, I went to my dad and I asked his advice. So this is my dad's recipe and his tips on cooking a roast pork. So I wanted to share it with you. So here is how to make my roast pork with proper crackling. So the first thing I've done is preheat the oven, and now I'm going to put the pork into the roasting tray. I'm said in this recipe to use tin foil, but I'm actually trying to be a bit more environmentally friendly. So after 20 minutes you're meant to cover the pork in tin foil, but I'm actually using a lid today. As I said, I'm just trying to be a bit more environmentally friendly and a bit more conscious of waste and stuff. I find tin foil, when I use tin foil, it's an awful waste. So yeah, that's why I'm using a lid today. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the rosemary. So I've picked some sprigs of rosemary from the garden. We're quite lucky, we have this growing in the garden. And if you do want to grow this is a great herb to grow because it does grow anywhere. The soil doesn't have to be brilliant for it to grow. So it's a good herb to grow in the garden. So I've got about 5 or 6 sprigs of rosemary, and then I've got about 8 garlic cloves, just whole garlic cloves, and I'm just going to put those in the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is get the pork and I'm going to place that on top of everything in the pan, and then I'm going to rub olive oil over the top. Now you can use as much or as little as you like. Also, I forgot to say that the butcher has already scored my like fat on the top. So basically he's got a knife and he's run along the top. He's careful not to cut into the meat. So he's scored the meat for me, so I don't have to do that. But if you do want to do it, then I suggest about 1 centimetre apart, and you just run a knife along the top and that scores the meat. So I'm just going to rub the olive oil in. I think I might add just a little bit more actually. So just add a little bit more. I'd probably say about a tablespoon of olive oil is probably good. And then I've got to go and get some salt, so I'm going to go and do that next. So I've grabbed some salt and I'm just going to sprinkle over a teaspoon or 2 of salt on the top. and I'm just going to rub that in. And that will hopefully make the crackling go all nice and crispy and golden brown as well. So as I said, I put the oven on already and I've preheated it to 220 degrees. You need it on really high, and then later on during the cooking we're going to turn it down. So I'm going to take the pork to the oven now. My oven has preheated and it's really warm, so that's great. And I'm going to put this in for 20 to 25 minutes, and then in 25 minutes I'll come back and I'll put the lid on. I've left the pork in for about 20 minutes. Yeah, so I've left the pork in for about 20 minutes and it's started to go really crispy on top, as you can see. So all I'm going to do now is simply put the lid on. Now if you're using tin foil like it says in the book, you just cover it in tin foil, and then I'm going to put this back in the oven, and it's £1. So every like 400 or 500 grams is about 20 minutes. So this will go back into the oven now because it's about 1 kilo 500 grams. So it's going to go in the oven for about an hour now. I also forgot to say that I'm going to turn the temperature down to 180 degrees. And I'm going to leave this to cook now. So the pork has actually been in the oven for well over an hour. I brought it out at the hour and on the hour, and basically it was still bleeding in the middle when I put the skewer in to check that the juices were running clear. So basically pork is like chicken. If the juices run clear, then it's cooked, and the juices are now running clear. So I'm going to take this out of the oven now and leave it to rest. I've left this to sit and rest for about 30 minutes now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the crackling. First of all, it's easier to carve if you take off the crackling first. And then all I'm going to do now is just simply carve the meat and see how it is on the inside. Oh yeah, that's lovely. That's really nicely cooked. There is only 3 of us eating this tonight, so we're obviously not going to eat it all. So what I intend to do is I'm going to put some of it in the deep freeze and then use it in other meals. So I'll use the leftovers in things like pork stir fry and stuff. So it doesn't really matter if the slices are too big, because this will be cut into cubes anyway for the pork stir fry. So yeah. And we're going to serve this tonight with roast potatoes and roast parsnips and roast carrots and some cabbage and gravy as well. So looking forward to my dinner. But I thought while I was here I'd try a bit of the crackling just to see how it is. It's really nice and crisp as well. Did you hear it when it snapped then? And now what I'm going to do is try the meat as well. Oh yeah, that's really lovely and tender and juicy as well. So looking forward to dinner tonight. So that's how you make my Dad's roast pork with proper crackling, and I'm off to enjoy this with some roast potatoes. As I said, we're having a roast dinner this evening, so I'm really looking forward to my dinner. Again, this recipe is in my new cookbook, Gifts from Grandpa, which I will link below in the description box for you, and I'll also link the recipe in the description box below too. That's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below. Do you enjoy a roast dinner, and do you love roast pork as much as we do? I'd like to know. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon.